Hey there, everyone. Welcome to a year update video about a month and a half into the year, the best time to do it. So, we've got a few big things to talk about that are going to impact the channel in the near future, and then some of the plans even beyond that. The biggest thing is something that I've talked about a lot in recent videos. So, you've probably heard it if you watched any of the playthroughs, even. But Dana and I will be moving at the end of the month. We actually, in December, we put in an offer on a house and we got it. So we are in the process of finalizing everything there. And then on February 29th, February 29th, whatever words I meant to say there, we are getting the house and we'll be able to start actually moving. So we've been pretty busy packing. That's why the last bunch of videos have probably sounded a lot more echoey. And you might have noticed all this stuff leaving my bookshelves, except for a few books that I was using and a now half-packed Titanic made of Lego. But the videos will continue up till that point perfectly normally, streams as well. There will probably be a few days that I end up normally streaming that I won't be able to between end of February and middle of March as we start to get everything transitioned. But I'm also trying to make sure that I have videos recorded and edited for both loses here and my lore channel, Corey's Datapad, throughout the entire period. So there shouldn't be any shortage of videos, although live streams are going to be a little bit different in that time. I'm going to do what I can to maybe have a couple, but when the computers are moving between internet getting set up, they're just going to kind of be whenever I'm able to as stuff gets set up. But of course, a big part of this is I do want to thank all of you in making this possible. This channel was something that I started just for fun when I was working at McDonald's and I wanted a reason to push myself to finish games. And that was like 7 years ago. But as especially some of you who have been around a lot longer know, when my mom got sick and I moved in with my parents to kind of help them and spend more time with her before she died. This was really the only job option available where I would have been able to spend time with her at home, allow my dad to go to work. And it managed to work out like that. There was no guarantees about anything. It was kind of a big risk, but I'm glad it paid off. I couldn't ask for a better job. And again, a lot of that or all of that is due to all of you who watch, especially all the people who are patrons. But the other part of getting this house is that one of the things we were looking for, it's basically the same size as the townhouse we rent now, but with us owning it, I am going to be looking to modify the basement properly into having a proper office space for the channel or for me to work in. So I won't just be having the bookshelves that divide from the other half of our basement, and which kind of means I'm committing to this for the long term. Which it's kind of been part of the last few months has been thinking of ways to move forward with the channel, is what kind of content I want to move into or do, what's working or what's not. And so over the last few months, if you've watched the Datapad videos on the other channel, especially, Marmar has been helping with editing those, which I think has really helped improve the output there, both in the quality of her editing and in the ability to do longer videos, which has really worked out. And there's also been some of those videos here as well. But in particular, in the next couple weeks, the many ongoing Empire at War playthroughs will probably be reaching an end. We've got the Republic playthrough going on that's been going for a while, the Hutt playthrough going on that's been going for less time now, but also the community challenge. And they've all kind of come together at a time or at the same time, because when the planning started for them was right before we ended up getting the house, which we were thinking like long term we'd be able to do that, but things worked out where we were able to find something we really wanted for a reasonable price, which is kind of difficult right now. So that kind of delayed everything. We're like the ship choices for the community challenge were up at the end of November, I think, and the playthrough's only starting now. So I want to make sure that the community challenge, as well as the tabletop series we're doing with Zach, Mr. Puerto Rican, and Nershal, RJ, and Slevered, I want to make sure that we're kind of concluded on those. So there's not going to be any large gaps in the week or two that I'm not going to be able to stream. So up until about March 7th, I should be able to do everything as normal. Hopefully I'll be back and forth between this place and the house trying to get some stuff set up. Everything is actually moving in the middle of March, so we're going to be overlapped a bit while we try to get some stuff done, because there are some updates we need to do before we can move in. But the once I'm there, I want to start trying to think about different stuff I can do that still keeps within the theme of what people enjoy about any content that already exists, but just new ways to explore that kind of stuff. Because I think one of the things that I did well with modding, especially earlier on, that I haven't translated into videos, especially here on Loses, the same way, is being a bit more creative in what I'm doing rather than just doing like standard stuff that a lot of people do. Uh, so part of it is going into other standard stuff that other people do. But on top of the Let's Plays, I do want to do more of the challenge videos, which involve like modifications to the game to have unique things. So bringing together some of the skills I have for modding with some of the videos to do stuff that is a bit more interesting from that angle. But there's another plan I have, which is entirely ripping off other people. Once I have everything set up in the new office in the basement, which there will be some changes later on when I actually make the office into the office space I intend it to be, but that's a bigger problem for later. But I do want to do a subathon of some kind because we've got the single stream Galactic Conquest already, which I'm trying to bring back. But for the subathons, for those of you who may not have watched it, it's basically you stream, there's a timer, and then you have like some goal that extends the amount of time you're streaming, and you just go until that runs out. So I think doing that with the goal of like completing all of the Galactic Conquests in the mod. So if I started like Era 1, Thrawn's Revenge, full galaxy map, and then do that, like start Era 1, start Era 2, start Era 3, and then like play through until I've done all of them. Possibly also doing that with historical maps, maybe doing that with other mods. There's a few different ways I could do this, which if people are interested, and depending on how well the first one goes, could be something fun to get into. I mean, obviously they could be potentially several days long. There are some people who do subathons that last like a month or longer. So that's the kind of stuff that I'm thinking about doing for the future. I also want to do more of the topical videos and the challenge videos. So like I was mentioning, but some specific examples of that being the missile challenge that has been intended to start for a while now. Finally going to get to that. Maybe revisiting the AI playing Empire at War for me video that I did a while back as well. And this is another area where having commissioning Marmar to help me with some of the editing really does make those a lot more possible. So that is kind of what things are going to look like going forward in the next little while. So hopefully all good things. Hopefully you guys are looking forward to that as well. Thank you once again for all the support in getting to this place. And I hope to see you next time. Bye, everyone.